So one of our earliest episodes was 1990. We did Misery and Total Recall, but we didn't do a top 10 because we weren't doing that yet because we didn't know what we were doing. We still don't really know what we're doing, but now we do top 10. So for the YouTube crowd, here is our top 10 movies of 1990. Do you mind if I start?
You are more than welcome to start.
So 3 honorable mentions. The Grifters, which is a John Cusack, Angelica Houston, Annette Bening, a movie featuring those 3. Directed by Stephen Frears. I watched it because I thought it was a heist movie. It's not a heist movie, but it is a con man movie. And it's pretty good, but not as good as the other movies on this list. Texasville, which is the sequel to Last Picture Show, which I think I talked about Texasville kind of at great length when we did our Last Picture Show episode, so check that out. And then the original Tremors, which Jake sent me a funny meme about yesterday. What was it? I'm going to show my kids Tremors and show my friends Tremors and get mad at them when they say it's not Dune.
Something like that. Yeah, it's my annual. Yeah, show all my friends the 1990s Tremors and argue with them loudly that it's that they don't know what Dune is.
That's good. Yeah, that's much better than what I said. So Tremors is also a fun movie. Early Kevin Bacon, not so early, but yeah, pretty early Kevin Bacon.
That's 6 years after Footloose, so.
Yeah, so not that early, but just like a fun campy monster movie. When we don't get like good PG-13 monster movies anymore recently, but this is one. There's not much violence, but it's a bunch of people hiding out from giant carnivorous worms. That's fun. My number 10, The Rescuers Down Under. I don't like The Rescuers that much, but The Rescuers Down Under is actually a movie that people don't realize came out during the Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast era. It came out between Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, but it's totally forgotten because it doesn't have a princess in it. And I think it's pretty solid. It's actually quite harrowing. The ending is like kind of scary. I don't know if you believe they're going to kill a kid because it's a Disney movie, but if it were not a Disney movie, you'd be like, that kid might die. And the animation's beautiful. It was like, I think really peak Disney era. And this isn't a peak Disney movie, but it came out during that time. My number 9 is a TV movie starring Walter Matthau called The Incident. This is the beginning of a trilogy of movies that got worse and worse, but this first one, The Incident, where Walter Matthau plays an old lawyer who gets dragged into a trial. He has to defend a German soldier during World War II who is accused of killing someone at a prisoner of war camp. And it reminded me a lot of, have you seen the John Adams miniseries that you're in?
No, I mean, not after I acted in it. It just took so much out of me. I couldn't, I didn't have it in me to watch it. So,
well, you may remember there's a whole episode about John Adams defending a British soldier after the Boston Massacre, and it's very much in line with that. I think it's actually pretty good, especially for a TV movie. It's very good, especially for the TV movies that Walter Matthau made in his career. It's excellent because he made some stinkers. My number 8 is Kindergarten Cop. It's not a Tuma at all.
At all.
This is a great one of the most memorable for a reason Arnold movies, and not just because he's interacting with kids. This was like, oh, Arnold's got some chops. He's not going to win an Oscar for this, but I hate to say this, but Arnold in this is better than Batista in My Spy, which is like they're pretty much doing the same thing. I'm sorry, it's just the case. You know what? It's just a better movie. It's not really Dave's fault. My number 7 is a movie I've talked about on this podcast before. It's Darkman, Sam Raimi's answer to Batman, starring my old nemesis, Liam Neeson.
The incomparable Liam Neeson's.
In any event, Darkman's very good. It's a great, like, gothic, creepy monster movie version of a superhero story. My number 6, you might think this is kind of low, but it is Scorsese's Goodfellas. But it's on the list. Yeah, I'm lower on Scorsese than most. I like his movies, but I don't think that they're like the best movie of all time. And I think that for Goodfellas, it's like it's a good gangster movie. It's a jaunty thing. It's way better than his remake of it, The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, why am I defending it? It's number 6 on my list of a year that I've seen a ton of movies. I like Goodfellas.
I'm surprised it's that low, but I'm not like offended. You know what I mean? Like but yeah, I mean, totally cool. Fine with me.
A couple weeks ago, Trip Burton put The Godfather at number 7 on his list of top 10 of 1970, whatever year that was. So
and then when he put all the movies above it, I was like, yeah, okay. As I was listening to those movies, like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, those are all good movies. I don't agree, but those are all good movies.
Yeah.
My number 5 is David Lynch's Wild at Heart, which I think is his most underrated movie by a lot. So this stars Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern as a couple on the run after Cage kills someone in Dern's life. And he is full on Cage in this. It has Willem Dafoe in it, who gets, spoiler alert, one of the most gruesome deaths ever in a movie. And it comes out of nowhere. Have you seen Wild at Heart?
Nope.
I think you would love this movie. It's not, it doesn't have like all that Lynchy stuff that's not, that makes like Inland Empire really difficult or Lost Highway. It's a straightforward movie that has like plenty of weird stuff, but not the narratively weird stuff.
Yeah.
I actually think you would love Wild at Heart.
Yeah, it's not one I've avoided or anything. I mean, I've meant to have watched it. I just, never did it.
Yeah, and you're a big Willem Dafoe guy. Crispin Glover's in it. Like every weirdo is in this movie.
I'm a Nicolas Cage guy. I freaking love Nicolas Cage. I have seen so many bad Nicolas Cage movies and enjoyed them. Like I'm all for watching a good Nicolas Cage movie.
So it's weird. So it's a David Lynch movie starring Nicolas Cage, who you would think had been in all of his movies. But
why have I not seen this? That's weird. I should have seen it.
It's a mistake. Number 4 is Total Recall. We did a whole episode on Total Recall. I won't say too much, but I think that Paul Verhoeven nailed it with this one. And it's another Arnold got 2 movies this year in the list. My number 3 is Edward Scissorhands, which I think is probably Tim Burton's best movie, and actually quite possibly Johnny Depp's best movie. Diane Wiest is amazing in this. Alan Arkin is amazing in this. Winona Ryder is amazing in this. Everyone's bringing it. Edward Scissorhands rules. We watched it earlier this year. I was like, wow,
that's another never did it.
Oh my God, Edward Scissorhands is so good. I know you don't like Tim Burton or Johnny Depp, but this is pre-Burton's fall off.
And I meant to watch it for years and years and years and years, and it just, and it just never happened. And then now I'm to a point where I'm like, I know I should still see it, but like, I just got to get through that barrier of, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it once I finally do watch it. Like I can get past the thing, but it's just, I'm just annoyed with the two of them.
Right. Yeah. Get over it because it's before all that.
Yeah. And I don't think Viv's seen it, and she's 12 now. So it's probably one that she would like at this point.
There's one scene that's like a little scary, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it's probably something she'd be into by now. Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's great. It might even be a little slow for her, but I think for sure.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the Coen Brothers Miller's Crossing, which I don't remember where that ranked on my Coen Brothers list, but probably really close to the top.
I think it's in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think maybe in the top 3.
Yeah.
It's Gabriel Byrne, Unreal. It's another movie that made Jake think that John Turturro was Jewish. Albert Finney as a gangster, which is very cool.
Amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is Misery. And again, this is Rob Reiner's best movie, in my opinion. One of James Caan's best movies. I can't.
Excuse you?
It's one of Kathy. What's that?
Excuse you?
Oh. I'm really sorry. It's one of Scott Caan's dad's best movies.
There we go.
Speaking of David Lynch, Richard Farnsworth, who starred in David Lynch's Straight Story, is wonderful in Misery. It's weird to say. I'm not sure if it's one of Kathy Bates's best movies, given that I ranked this 5 stars. But she's just so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Misery is wonderful, and we have a whole episode about it, so please check that out. That's my top 10.
Yeah, great movie. Yeah, I've got a couple. There was a couple on your list. Was like I didn't have these as marked in 1990, but I know I've seen Kindergarten Cop. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw Rescuers Down Under. But these might just be victims of the haven't seen them in the Letterboxd era, and they just haven't been marked for for whatever reason. But yeah, Kindergarten Cop is a total delight, and now I kind of want to watch that again. Speaking of a couple others that I don't have star ratings for, but that I know I've seen from this year, we did the episode on Total Recall, but I didn't rewatch it then because I thought I could skate by without rewatching some of these movies, and that was dumb.
It's a little obvious.
It's a very obvious, and I think I realized that pretty quickly, and that stopped. But but I know that's a great one. So that's certainly on my honorable mention list. A couple others from that year. Hunt for Red October was another one from that year that I remember watching a lot as a kid and thinking was pretty cool. And Dick Tracy is another one from that year that I watched a lot as a kid, but just haven't seen in forever. But I remember liking both of those. And then Home Alone was this year too. And Home Alone is fun, but I'm not one of those weirdos our age that's like obsessed with it and think it's like the greatest movie ever. I just think like, yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah. I'm a big Daniel Stern guy, but even I wouldn't put it in my top 10. And I'm with you. Dick Tracy, I saw it in theaters and was like, well, that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
but I haven't seen it since then. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen The Hunt for Red October, which is crazy given how much I like John McTiernan, but I've never seen it.
As far as I remember, it's a good one. Let's get into the top 10 now. I have a rating for this, but I don't remember the last time I saw it, but it's the comedy sequel 3 Men and a Little Lady with Ted Danson and Steve Guttenberg and, who's the third?
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, of course. How could I forget the beautiful mustache of Tom Selleck? I remember really liking both of these movies, just fun little comedies. Another sequel, I've got quite a few sequels on my list. Another sequel is my number 9, would be Die Hard 2, Die Harder, speaking of John McTiernan.
Oh, no, John McTiernan did not direct Die Hard 2.
No, Rennie Harlin is Die Hard 2. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, Rennie Harlin. Yeah, I like Die Hard 2. Pretty good. Another sequel at number 8, Back to the Future Part 3. A lot of people say this is the worst Back to the Future, and that's true, but I still really like it. I love all of the movies so much. I mean, it's a fun Western. Christopher Lloyd gets to do a lot of fun stuff in this one. I love all those movies passionately. It's my favorite. The first one's my favorite movie ever. I love them all.
It's very cool that they genre shifted in the third movie. It's just a cool thing that they did.
It is, yeah. I don't think it gets enough credit at all.
Because people liked the futuristic crap in the second. And also, I love Back to the Future Part 2.
Same.
But people really liked being in the future. And they were like, another Western, come on.
It's just like it maybe just wasn't what they wanted.
It wasn't what people wanted. Yeah. It's a good movie. I'm with you. It's good.
Yeah, it's totally good. And it's a great finish to the trilogy too. Like we're, and I'm really glad they haven't messed with that yet.
There's a musical which I hear is also very good, and it takes place now, I think, which is weird.
Oh yeah. I'd like to see that. And there's also like a video game that like Gale and Zemeckis have signed off, and Viv and I have played it. We haven't finished it, but it's pretty fun.
I have to say, I'm seeing a lot of bad will towards the movie Here that Zemeckis has coming out.
Really?
And yeah, people are just like the CGI on people's faces looks bad, and what are you doing a whole movie from one camera angle? And all I can think is like, yes, Zemeckis has made some bad movies in the last decade and a half, but can't we give him some goodwill just based on the fact that he won't let people make Back to the Future sequels? That deserves a lot.
Yeah, and the fact that he just made those movies in the first place.
Yeah,
that's definitely worth something to me.
Anywho, keep going.
Any horse. All right. Number 7 is that year's Best Picture winner. Another movie I haven't seen in a while, but Dances with Wolves is very good. Kevin, no?
Oh, I've never seen it. That's a never did it for me.
Oh, okay. It's been a long time for me, but my wife and I have discussed watching it because she's never did it. So that's my number 7. My number 6, another sequel, is The Godfather Part 3, which I think is a good movie. I don't think it's obviously in the realm of the other 2 films and by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it's probably as bad as some people would have you believe. Sofia Coppola, of course, is very not good in it, but also to be fair, she was like the 4th choice to play that part. I don't think she really even particularly wanted to.
Was it supposed to be Winona Ryder?
It was supposed to be Winona Ryder first, and I think there was even like a couple other choices after that fell through or couldn't do it for whatever reason. But yeah, there's good stuff about The Godfather 3. I mean, I think it's a good storyline. I think the ending is good. I think it's more of like a 4-star movie than a 5-star movie. I think it's good.
I don't think it's as good as some movies that are lower on your... Like, I don't think it's as good as Back to the Future Part 3, but I also think that it gets hate that it doesn't deserve because it's not The Godfather or The Godfather 2.
What movie? I mean, those are all-timers. I mean, how can you live up to those?
Yeah, well, maybe Megalopolis will be.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
I saw the trailer. I'm interested. I'll just say that.
I mean, yeah, I'm interested too. I want to see it. I haven't seen a trailer or anything, but I'm still excited for it. I mean, curious to see what the hype's all about. Let's get into number 5 then, is the Robin Williams, Robert De Niro medical drama Awakenings.
Never did it and have been dying to see it.
Yeah, it's another one that I haven't seen in a very, very long time, but I remember really being impressed with this. Robin Williams is playing a very non-Robin Williams part in this. I think it was the first time I had seen him not play a kind of bombastic, loud, big character. He's playing kind of a soft-spoken doctor part, and it was really kind of interesting, and I hadn't seen anything like that, and I think it's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, it's very, very good. It's my number 5.
It's such a good movie for the Kevin Bacon game, because getting from Robin Williams movies to De Niro movies and vice versa, like, you need those bridges, and that one's a really good one for it.
That is a good one, and they're making an interesting pair, De Niro and Robin Williams. Like, you wouldn't think images are so like polar opposite of each other. You think De Niro gangster and Robin Williams clown, and then here they are.
I mean, give it 10 years and De Niro's a clown.
Also true, but at the time,
yeah,
pretty novel. Yeah, and then Robin Williams had done a lot of drama by then too, but neither here nor there. Number 4 movie we have talked about at great length is Rob Reiner's Misery. Great movie. What else? Can we need to be said about that? Yeah, Scott Caan's dad is great in this. Kathy Bates is great in it. Richard Farnsworth is great. It's just, great movie all around. Number 3, a movie I was surprised wasn't on your list, but I have Kiki's Delivery Service on my list.
I have it for a different year.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have it in 19... Oh, yeah, maybe I have it... Maybe that's the U.S.
It is in my top movies of 1989 list. Quite near the top.
Oh, it is 89. Okay, so made 19... It must come out in the States in 1990. So yeah, that's my number 3. One of the great Studio Ghibli movies, of which there are so many. My number 2, and another one we already talked about since it was high on your list. My number 2 is your number 2, Miller's Crossing. And then my number 1 is Goodfellas.
Say why?
Because I think it's great. I love it. I think it's the best. I think it's one of the best gangster movies of all time. I think the performances are awesome. I think it's real. The characters are really compelling and interesting. I think the soundtrack is amazing. I think it's one of the fastest moving drama. Well, I mean, it's a drama.
It's a drama. It's funny, but it's a drama.
It's funny, but it's a drama. Yeah, I mean, I love the way it moves. I love the way it's paced. I just think it's great. I love it.
All right, you've defended it well. I accept your number 1 ranking. It is my number 6. Next up will be 1999 in our making up for lost time top 10 lists thing that we're doing here.